Where are the others?
A blind one.
How come he didn't kill you?
Had a baby with him.
I have a feeling that maybe you got tired of waiting.
Could not see, but he could shoot, I swear.
The story kicks off with 4 thugs stopping this guy walking alone, holding a baby in his arms. One of them, Luis, points a gun at him. The man, calm as ever, hands over the baby.
Rita!
Did you tell me how to get to Los Portales?
Only then does Luis notice this dude is blind. The man takes the gang's horses and rides away, leaving the scene behind like nothing happened. Luis doesn't get far. He's soon grabbed by the gang he originally belonged to, led by a tough guy named Alocran. Turns out Luis was supposed to be guarding that road with Alocran's son, Hector. When they ask what happened,
Where are the others?
A blind one.
How come he didn't kill you?
Had a baby with him.
I have a feeling that maybe you got tired of waiting.
Could not see, but he could shoot, I swear.
Still doubting the story, Alocran sends his younger son, Roberto, with a couple of men to a nearby town called San Pedro to track down Hector. Meanwhile, the blind man, who we later find out is named Canon, reaches San Pedro. Right away, he sees some preacher, Malone, yelling at an old native guy, the local shaman. Canon politely asks Malone for directions to a place called Los Portales, but Malone goes for his weapon.
You heard of Los Portales?
This is San Pedro. You're blind.
You know, Father, I don't much like the idea of drawing on a man of God.
How did you get into town?
But I will if you don't drop that gun, Mr. Holy Man.
Canon heads to the saloon, asking for whiskey and milk for the baby. The bartender, Ernie, says they're out, but nervously offers him some of his own stash. While pouring the drink, Ernie's shaking, and Canon can feel something's off in this town. Not just the bartender. Everything seems tense. Inside the town church, a group of soldiers led by Sergeant Hastings are laying low. Hastings steps out to check on the horses and sees one of the dead bodies. It's Hector, Alocran's kid. As Canon leaves the bar, Hastings confronts him. Canon stays cool, asking again about Los Portales.
Your cavalry.
Hastings, Sergeant, U.S. Army. These dead men belong to you?
They just came with those horses. You should watch your hands, Sergeant.
You're not going anywhere. Go Cox.
That's enough!
Things get real until a woman named Caroline steps in and defuses the situation. She offers to guide Canon to his destination, if he helps him out first. She explains the guys Canon killed were part of a crew that ambushed Hastings' men during a silver shipment 3 weeks ago. Since then, San Pedro's been stuck, roads blocked, food running low. Canon introduces himself properly and says he's nearly blind from the war. When Caroline asks about the baby, he admits it's not his. A dying man he shot begged him to get the child to safety. Just then, Roberto and his guys show up and toss a soldier's corpse in front of the church.
You get yourself a clean chance at the one with the shotgun, you take it.
The hell you want?
You know what we want?
You tell Alacran we got a full company of cavalry on their way.
Oh, yeah, good. Who's bringing them? Huh? They all hang from trees.
Ay, chingada.
Shit.
Hector? Who did this?
He loses it. Furious, he says he'll start killing townsfolk until someone confesses.
You call me out?
Hey, hold your fire! Hold your fire! He's got one.
Roberto falls under his horse, stuck. The last bandit, still standing, grabs a hostage.
Hold your fire! Hold your fire! He's got one of my men.
But then, from the bell tower, a sniper opens fire. Canon and one of the soldiers get hit. Amid the chaos, Roberto scrambles onto a horse and flees. Canon blacks out and flashes back to his army days, with his commander yelling at him. He wakes up in a hotel, patched up by Caroline. He wants to leave for Los Portales, but she says the town still needs him. He feels like he's already done his part. Later, Canon confronts Hastings, accusing one of his men of shooting him. Hastings denies it. Still, Canon agrees to ride out for help, if he gets 10% of the silver. Hastings reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, Roberto makes it back to Alocran, reporting that a blind guy wiped out their men. Alocran doesn't buy it. No way his son, a cold-blooded killer, died like that. Furious, he sends for backup from a gang called Mackey's Crew and tells his top enforcer, Bull, to go to San Pedro. His mission? Kill the blind man. Back in town, Hastings finally shows Canon the silver stash in the church. But they won't leave until reinforcements show. Outside, townsfolk are harassing the old shaman again. Canon steps in to stop it.
This is not your concern.
Later, as he heads toward his hotel room, something doesn't sit right. He pulls his gun and shoots through the door. Inside, he finds Caroline, then Bull attacks. At the same time, Alocran sneaks up on the preacher, Malone. But instead of threatening him, Alocran grins. They've been working together all along. Malone spills the news. Bull's dead, and Canon's planning to ride out that night for backup. That night, Canon's sleep is wrecked by a haunting memory. He dreams of his time in the war, a little girl caught in the crossfire, a bomb going off nearby. Then darkness. That was the moment he lost his sight. He wakes up sweating. Caroline, nearby, finally confesses she doesn't actually know where Los Portales is. She lied. She asks him to stay and admits she's starting to care about him. The next evening, Hastings hands Canon a letter and tells him how to get to the cavalry. Canon rides out quietly, but trouble is already waiting. Alocran's men lie hidden in the brush. The second Canon steps into the ambush zone, they light the bushes around him on fire. Trapped in flames, he covers his horse's eyes and charges through. Bullets fly, but somehow he escapes. By morning, he makes it to the cavalry base and is brought to the commanding officer, Captain Teller. Teller opens the letter, and what he reads shocks Canon. The letter says Canon tried to blackmail them for 200 pounds of silver. Canon tries to speak, but Teller orders him arrested.
This man who brought you this letter did so only when we gave him 200 pounds silver.
Come away! Come on!
Meanwhile, Alocran punishes his own crew for letting Canon slip past. One poor guy gets his ear chopped off just to set an example. Back at the camp,
They'll be hanging you when they get back.
he escapes on horseback. As he races through the desert, Captain Teller and the cavalry head towards San Pedro, straight into a trap. Alocran's gang ambushes them hard. The soldiers don't stand a chance. One man, barely alive, makes it to San Pedro and collapses in the square. Caroline tries to help, but he dies in her arms. Hastings sees the body and doesn't believe it. He assumes it's a trick and calls the man a deserter. He coldly orders the body dragged away, still convinced help is coming. Canon rides into the aftermath, dead soldiers everywhere. Before he can do anything, Alocran's men catch him. When they take off his glasses and see his eyes, Alocran realizes it's true. Canon is blind. Wanting him to suffer, Alocran orders Canon crucified and left to roast under the sun. Back in San Pedro, things are falling apart. With only 6 soldiers left, one of them suggests giving up and handing over the silver. Hastings doesn't even hesitate. He shoots him in the head and dares anyone else to speak. Nobody does. Near death, Canon fades into another memory. He sees himself being buried by his own comrades, who thought he'd died in battle. The girl from his nightmare appears in his mind again, and it gives him strength. He pulls himself off the cross and collapses, right into the arms of the old shaman who's been keeping an eye on him. The next morning, Canon wakes up to loud pops. The shaman's casually playing with dynamite. Meanwhile, Alocran and his men ride into town and take control. Roberto demands that the gravedigger, Spencer, dig up Hector's body. His father wants a proper funeral. Outside the church, Alocran tells Hastings to surrender. Hastings refuses like a proud fool, but his men have had enough. They shoot him down, ending it on the spot.
Fucking mind.
Don't shoot, he's dead, we're coming out!
At the cemetery, Spencer starts digging as Canon and the shaman walk by, carrying crates of explosives. They lock eyes. No words, just a plan. In town, things take a dark turn. Roberto drags Caroline into a room and threatens her, even using the baby to scare her.
Better, I think it is better that I fuck you now. And this time, I cut the baby.
At the church, Malone gets ready to lead a funeral for Hector. Spencer warns him this might not be a good time, but Malone's determined. Meanwhile, Canon is rigging up a detonation device. Malone finds a wire under the casket and starts tracing it. Shaman tries to stop him, but Malone fights him off and yanks the wire out. Realizing the danger, he runs for the church to warn everyone.
Boom!
Amid the rubble, Alokran and Canon both survive. They fight. It's brutal and close. Canon finally grabs a gun and listens.
I can't see you. You smell like shit.
Later, peace settles over San Pedro. Canon packs up. Caroline begs him to stay, but he gently says no. He's got a promise to keep. He leaves the silver behind for the townsfolk to rebuild and rides off alone once more.